Muggles exist entirely outside the field of magical resonance. Their bodies lack the core and internal magical current that allows witches and wizards to channel, sense, or respond to enchantments. Because of this, magic passes through them without reaction. They neither detect its presence nor retain memory of it in a meaningful way. To a Muggle, a disillusionment charm is perfect invisibility, not a distortion. A powerful ward feels no different than air. The magical world, for them, is a blank space edited out of perception. When Muggles approach heavily enchanted areas, defensive enchantments exploit their lack of sensitivity. Muggle-repelling charms trigger confusion or sudden distraction. An urgent memory, a phone call they forgot to make, a vague unease that pushes them away. Unplottable spells ensure certain locations, like Hogwarts or the Ministry of Magic, cannot even be conceptually mapped. To the Muggle eye, these sites often appear as derelict ruins, toxic zones, or restricted property. Even powerful magical events leave only mundane evidence behind. Burned walls, shattered glass, unexplained weather, easily folded into rational explanations. Their brains, unanchored to magic's wavelength, rewrite what little they witness. When the night bus barrels through London traffic, Muggles swerve instinctively, but never question why. At the 1994 Quidditch World Cup, officials relied on weather manipulation and confundus charms to keep intruding Muggles from realizing thousands of broomsticks were streaking above them. These spells don't just hide details, they overwrite perception itself, protecting secrecy by ensuring disbelief. Muggles can be informed about magic, but information doesn't grant perception. A Muggle may stand at the threshold of the leaky cauldron and see only an empty brick wall. Without the sensitivity to feel enchantment tugging at reality, they live parallel to the magical world, blind to its layers, forever mistaking wonder for coincidence. Squibs occupy a narrow, often uncomfortable space between the magical and non-magical worlds. Born to at least one magical parent, they inherit traces of magical essence within their blood, but lack the internal current strong enough to perform spells. This faint resonance doesn't permit them to cast, yet it does allow them to perceive. Where a Muggle's senses slide off enchantment, a Squib's mind catches the outline. They can see Hogwarts Castle, recognize magical creatures, and detect the faint pulse of charms and wards that would be invisible to others. This limited sensitivity is more than symbolic. It shapes how they survive within wizarding society. Arabella Figg, the Squib who lived near Harry Potter, could sense the oppressive cold and despair of Dementors, testifying to their presence at the Ministry hearing. Argus Filch, Hogwarts caretaker, cannot wield a wand but operates comfortably within a building saturated with enchantment. He handles magical objects without triggering defensive spells because he emits no magical output for the trace to detect. To a Squib, magic hums faintly at the edges of perception, like sound behind a closed door. They can feel when a ward is strong or broken, sense when a charm has been placed but cannot alter it. Socially, their condition is fraught. Many live within wizarding communities, yet are treated as outsiders in a culture built around spellcraft. Some find practical uses for their rare perspective. Caretakers, innkeepers, even informants, roles that require access to the magical world, but little direct magic. Others attempt to bridge the gap through education or artifacts, as Filch once did with a quick spell correspondence course, though such efforts never create true magic. Their sensitivity grants them partial sight, but no agency. They are witnesses to wonder, fated to understand magic intellectually, not instinctively. Latent sensitivity marks the stage when a child's magic exists but has not yet been refined by education or a wand. At this level, magic reacts to emotion rather than willpower. Strong feelings, fear, anger, excitement, act as triggers that cause the core to discharge energy spontaneously. The result is accidental magic, the earliest and most chaotic expression of sensitivity. It reveals that the child's magic isn't dormant. It's volatile, seeking form before discipline can shape it. Accidental magic manifests unpredictably. A child might teleport away from danger, transform a toy in frustration, or cause objects to float or shatter without contact. These bursts are not deliberate spells, but instinctive reactions, mirroring the strength of the young wizard's emotional state. Harry Potter, trapped in a cupboard for years, made glass vanish to free a snake at the zoo. Neville Longbottom's first sign of magic came when he bounced unharmed from a window. Lily Evans made petals bloom and hover midair before she even understood what she was doing. Ariana Dumbledore's uncontrolled surges turned catastrophic, proving that raw sensitivity, when combined with trauma, can become destructive. This stage is closely monitored by the Ministry of Magic's Accidental Magic Reversal Squad. Their role is to contain magical incidents, repair damage, and maintain the statute of secrecy. Latent magic is also how the Ministry identifies new magical children. Patterns of unexplainable phenomena cluster around them, hinting at a forming core. At this level, sensitivity is high but directionless. The young witch or wizard senses magic instinctively, though not consciously. A latent child can often feel when an enchanted object is near or when a room buzzes with magic, but cannot yet channel it. Their potential is visible only through chaos. Power without practice, awareness without understanding. At this level, sensitivity has matured through structured education and years of controlled casting. The magical core is stable, the wand acts as a precise conductor, and perception begins to extend beyond instinct. These are the witches and wizards who can recognize when a spell has been cast nearby, feel the hum of enchantments, and tell the difference between a lingering jinx and a freshly laid ward. Their sensitivity is reliable but limited to direct surroundings. It is the standard achieved by most Hogwarts graduates. An average witch or wizard can perform hundreds of spells fluently across multiple disciplines: charms, transfiguration, defensive magic, and basic healing. Through repetition, they develop a sensory connection to their wand, a resonance that allows them to anticipate magical feedback. They can tell when a charm has taken hold by the vibration in the air or the subtle warmth that lingers at the tip of the wand. Even simple spells like Lumos or Alohomora carry a distinct texture that becomes second nature to recognize. These practitioners operate comfortably within magical society. They can maintain wards, brew potions with consistent results, and live independently in enchanted environments. Their sensitivity allows them to adjust spell intensity instinctively, using less power for delicate charms and more for defensive ones. However, it remains a practiced skill, not a heightened sense. Most cannot perform wandless or nonverbal magic effectively, and they often rely on spoken incantations to align focus. For many, this is where growth stops. Without further specialization, sensitivity plateaus. Magic becomes a craft rather than an evolving perception. Yet this level forms the backbone of wizarding civilization. The healers, shopkeepers, teachers, and clerks who maintain daily magical life with confidence and precision, perceiving magic as naturally as breathing, but never deeper than that. Witches and wizards at this level display refined, instinctive perception of magical forces. Their sensitivity extends beyond standard training, allowing them to feel the structure of enchantments, predict spell outcomes mid-cast, and even manipulate overlapping magical fields without destabilizing them. This heightened awareness can emerge through talent, discipline, or a rare magical trait, but in all cases, the result is the same: precision that borders on intuition. These individuals can read the texture of magic. They know the difference between charm work that glows evenly and a curse that feels sharp or metallic in the air. They sense ward boundaries before stepping into them and can trace spell residue like a scent trail, identifying the nature and strength of a caster long after the magic fades. This level of perception is what separates true experts, aurors, curse breakers, and master potion makers from ordinary graduates. Many who reach this tier specialize intensely. Severus Snape, for example, possessed such acute magical sensitivity that he could adjust potion reactions instinctively and invent entirely new spells. Minerva McGonagall's transfiguration mastery let her feel when a transformation was stable or about to revert. Nymphadora Tonk's metamorph magus gift represented a biological form of heightened sensitivity, her body responding directly to magical will. Fred and George Weasley achieved it through creativity, layering enchantments in ways traditional spell books never taught. At this level, magic stops being a series of learned actions and becomes an extension of self. Spells are not just cast, they are tuned, modulated, harmonized with surrounding forces. Yet even these experts face limits. They feel magic deeply, but still depend on tools, concentration, and time. True transcendence lies one step higher, where magic and perception merge entirely. At the final level, magical sensitivity reaches its absolute peak, an attunement so complete that magic itself becomes a sensory language. Legendary masters, these witches and wizards do not merely cast spells. They perceive the weave of enchantment around them as naturally as others hear sound or feel temperature. Every spell, every ward, every trace of magical energy carries a signature they can interpret instantly. Their awareness operates beyond sight and sound. It's as if the entire magical field hums in resonance with their own core. At this level, the boundary between perception and manipulation disappears. Such individuals can perform wandless and nonverbal magic with flawless precision, their intent translating directly into magical action. They feel the pressure of wards across miles, sense emotional residue from old curses, and distinguish the delicate balance between life-preserving and life-draining magic. Their sensitivity extends through environments. They can read the history of a place through lingering enchantments, detect concealed spells without effort, and anticipate hostile magic before it manifests. Legends like Albus Dumbledore, Gellert Grindelwald, and Lord Voldemort belong here. Dumbledore's intuitive grasp of spell structure allowed him to merge disciplines fluidly, weaving transfiguration, charms, and defensive magic into single motions. Grindelwald's command of political and magical energy intertwined. His sensitivity let him sense the power of collective intent. Voldemort's mastery was darker. His perception of soul magic enabled him to divide and anchor life itself through Horcruxes, sensing fragments of his being across distance. At this apex, magical sensitivity ceases to be a skill. It becomes identity. Masters at this stage don't study the flow of magic. They are the flow, shaping reality through instinct rather than theory. Beyond this, no higher level is recognized. Only legend, where the wizard's senses and the world's magic move as one.